Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how are you
Hi.
being all Miss Perky and bouncy and cheery self today? Mm-hmm. You know who else was perky and bouncy and cheery? Some of the cast members from the movie X.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely a little perky.
Very fancy and perky.
I was
I
expecting. I was like, ooh, oh, what?
was like, wow.
I was like, but what was I expecting with a title, the movie X, or
Right.
just X? So, for those of you who haven't figured it out, we're reviewing the movie X. X can be found on Netflix. It is a charming movie. It's a love story without so many words. Uh,
I guess.
right. Actually, it's a slasher film, and I'm gonna be very honest. Probably not the best slasher film I've ever seen at all.
It was very weird for me.
Yeah, so this is where me and Roxy are going to split off a little bit. So Roxy found it to be very weird. I didn't find it to be very weird, but in polling some audience members, like the people on my Facebook, I've discovered a lot of people thought it was weird, but I don't think it was a weird thing. I just think who it was made it weird. In a way, but we'll get into that in a minute. So, X again on Netflix, so you can watch it if you want.
And on Paramount.
And oh, is it on Paramount too?
Hmm.
So, uh, X is a film that was made in 2022 and is just now kind of making a splash onto the scene. Um, it's basically okay. Here's a very long story short. There's not much of a plot, so get ready to strap yourself in because it's going to be short.
Oh,
You're right. What's happening is X is basically a group of friends who have
hmm.
come up with the idea. Well, not that they've come up with the idea, but they're going to do the age-old idea of like, hey, we're tired of being poor and we want money and we want fame and we want it now. And what's the best way to do that, Roxy?
Fun.
Porn. Let's make a porn. So
Yeah.
this is in the 1970s in Texas. So Pornhub, Red Door, all that did not exist.
Nope.
You had to film it back then and then distribute it.
With those recorders that had the actual film
Yep, you had to use real film to
and it
do
had the
that.
reels like on it.
35 or 8 millimeter, one or the other. You had to
Yeah.
use one of those. And they want to do this because they have kind of heard that home videos, which at this point, what they're talking about is they're predating the VHS cassette. So, or back then, if it was before VHS, it was beta. That eventually that this was going to be a huge market that they could make money off of. So they
Mhm.
never explain how they get this info. They just have this info. So they
Yeah.
go hire this guy and his girlfriend who the guy is the videographer, so he has all the camera stuff, and the girlfriend is basically the sound engineer. So she
Yeah.
has the boom mic and everything and she's ready to do it. Now, the sound engineer is played by the absolutely lovely and brilliant Jenny Ortega,
Mhm, mhm.
Miss Wednesday Adams. So it's kind of weird seeing her in this film.
Very weird seeing her in this. I was not prepared.
Yes, I wasn't prepared for it either. So, but they are basically the film crew. And then you have this group of what was one, two, three, four others who are going to be the stars and basically, you know, bang it out on camera as all porns do. I mean,
Yes.
let's admit, there's not a whole lot of real acting going on here. I mean, maybe, but not really. I mean, even I can fake that. Yeah, Roxy.
I guess you could.
I, I,
Whatever.
I know I can. Had to fake it before. Wouldn't be my first. Wouldn't be
You
my
know what
last.
I'm
You
saying?
know.
Unfortunately, it's probably not my last.
Yeah. So there you go. So that basically what happens. So what they do is they rent out this little cabin in, what I like to call buttfuck Texas, way out there. But the
Mhm.
thing is, they rent it from this elderly couple, and the first encounter with the elderly man doesn't go very well because he's either forgetful, but he's trying to threaten him with a shotgun. But I want to stop and just take a moment to say at this point, when they get to the cabin, when they get to this house, it is basically, in my opinion, Roxy, tell me if I'm wrong, because she loves to do that. Uh,
And do.
and she religiously. uh, uh, it was basically the house. The scene was a setup and kind of like an homage to some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Like you
Kind of,
see
yeah,
the
I can see
house
that.
and it has that Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it
Hmm.
and everything else. And so it's very Texas Chainsaw-y visually. It
Hmm.
really is.
I can see that, yeah.
And so they get there, they get into the cabin, and I'm gonna say this, and Roxy, you can talk about it too if you want. It was kind of a slow burn once they got into that cabin.
A little. It was a little bit of a slow burn, yeah.
I'm gonna go with more than a little bit of a slow burn. That
I was
was
like, when
like,
are you gonna kill somebody? Is
I'm
anyone
like,
gonna die in this?
could someone fucking die, please? I mean,
I thought this was scary.
yeah, it was not. So, ladies and gentlemen, this to me, this was not a scary film at all. It I'm not gonna say it was a bad film. Okay, it's not a bad film, but it isn't like the best horror film that I've ever seen. Um, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it. You ready for me to say it, Roxy?
Go for it.
I'm gonna say that the movie Thanksgiving was probably scarier than this movie.
Scarier.
And I hate to
Yeah.
say this, it was
Come on.
probably better than this movie. In the sense of
Well,
slasher wise, yes. I mean, it got
okay,
straight to the
slasher wise.
killing in Thanksgiving. And in this one, it was like, man, will you please just die already?
Like, will you hurry up and kill somebody?
Yes, I mean, it was like I said, when I say it was a slow burn, I mean it was a slow burn for this movie. I watched literally an hour of the movie, and no one had died yet. No one had died, and it's an hour into the movie. Like, did you realize that, Roxy?
No, I did not realize that at all.
Yeah, I was just kind of going with it, and I was like, okay, all right, okay. What?
Why is everyone still alive?
Like everyone should have been dead a long fucking time ago, if you ask me. But they were not. And that really bothered me. Because everyone was still alive an hour into the movie. And then the movie isn't that long, so it's like an hour 30 and maybe give some change there. But it wasn't until the fucking hour passed and you got 30 minutes, that's when the killing started. So everyone died in 30 minutes for some odd reason. Um, and that was kind of like, how do I put it? Boring. I mean, that was just like kind of, yeah, just like, hey, you know what we need to do? Knock this shit out. We need to go ahead and
Right?
kill everyone, and we got
Immediately kill
30
somebody.
minutes to do it. What can we do? Oh, give one to the alligator, give one to this and that. I was like, Jesus Christ, come on,
That shit was
man.
crazy.
It, it was bad.
Now, some of the kills were pretty cool,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah. Some of them were. Like, what was your favorite kill?
I think when she killed Homeboy, the first guy,
Oh, with the knife? Yeah, but I kind of saw that coming because you see her standing there and she has her hand up,
Yeah.
so you knew it was coming.
Like I'm trying to think. Like what was the other one?
My favorite kill was the alligator. Because as soon as she gets in, the alligator latches onto her head, and this is like one of the very few movies where I've
Hmm.
actually seen where they incorporate the death roll that alligators do
Yeah.
into it. So they do the death roll, and I was like, oh, that was well done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was
In the
screaming at
weird.
my TV like, "Oh my God."
So that was my favorite kill. I will say this. So with the movie. Let's go ahead and do we want to deal with who's in the movie right now, or do we want to go ahead and jump into why everyone thought it was weird?
Let's go into who's in the movie.
Okay, so I will do what I do and share screen with you and our beautiful, beautiful audience. Um, for those of you who watch the show, thank you. We love you. For those of you who don't, get on board, people. This is the 20th century. Everything's a video now. So basically, as I am just kind of scrolling back, top cast. So we have our main actress is uh Maya Goth,
Mia Goth.
Mia Goth, and she plays Maxine. And the thing is, she apparently is a staple for this particular director because I haven't seen it, but Roxy saw it. The movie Pearl.
Hmm.
They use her in this too because it's directed by the same guy. How did you feel about Pearl, Roxy?
I It was also very weird.
Very weird.
And
Okay.
it had the same kind of like how this one had the religion, the preacher,
Mm-hmm.
talking about stuff on the TV. So it had this almost the same thing, but
Okay.
it was like a mom that was very, very religious. Like it was just weird.
All right.
It
Interesting.
was, yeah. So it almost had the same feel.
Hmm. So, Mia Goth, Jenny Ortega, Brittany Snow, and one who totally threw me off. I did not recognize it was him. Kid Cudi.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was him either.
Kid Cudi plays Jackson, one of our porn stars in this, and I did not recognize that that was Kid Cudi. I was like, "Oh my God, are we serious? That's Kid Cudi." Did a good job though. I didn't even know it was him, and he can act. I had no idea. You also have Martin Henderson, Owen Campbell, and I'm gonna stop with. Well, no, I guess I could jump into the televangelist who's somewhat of an important character, Simon Pratt, who I did look him up. He is, remember me and you were having that discussion that he looked
Hmm.
like the guy from one of the Texas Chainsaw movies,
Yeah.
and it is not him. It is not him. So I was like, oh, boo. But those are your top cast in there. And now let's go ahead and get into the weird of
So apparently Mia Goth co-wrote X and Pearl.
mm. So she has writing skills, and the director for this is T.I. West. Now, on writer, they only give credit to T.I. West. They don't give credit to her. With Internet Movie Database. He seems familiar. I don't really know him, but he seems familiar.
Hmm.
But
And
he's
apparently there's a third one called Maxine with three X's.
hmm, interesting. Well, he's directed quite a bit though. I mean, he has quite a few movies under his belt here. So going on into it, let's go ahead and jump into the weird. Okay, so
Why
Rock,
my face was like
yeah. So I'm
the
gonna
rest
let,
of the movie.
yeah. I mean, I could totally tell. I'll let Roxy explain the weird, what she felt was weird about the movie, and then I'll go into why I thought it
Which
wasn't
part are we
weird.
talking about?
Well, go ahead. Just explain your what was weird for you in general then.
So for one, it was weird for me to see Jenny Ortega in this kind of light.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday Adams. I'm like, I realize that she's a young adult, but it was still very weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so thankful that they panned away from the scene when they did. I was like, no.
I'm pretty sure they were thankful for that too, because they're like,
You
no,
know what
you
I'm saying?
cannot
Like, I'm
ruin this
pretty
for
sure
us.
I'm glad she had that in her contract. Like, good for her. Um, but that part was a little weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though that she did a really, really good, like her scared, her scared
Oh
acting
yeah, her
was
panic
really
acting is
great.
amazing.
Really
Yeah.
great. She did really great on that. So the main weird part was the sex scene with the old people, with the old couple. I wasn't mentally ready to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Why? But then for a moment, I was like, you know what? If I live to be that old, I hope I'm still hot. First of all, I don't want to look scary like that. Second of all, I hope that I still want to and am able to get it on
Mm-hmm.
at that
Mm-hmm.
age. Like,
I can understand those
but
wants
it
and
was
needs.
just I was not prepared to see that.
Mm-hmm. And I get you, I understand you, I feel you. Um, those were kind of I get those points, those were valid points and everything. I think for me and a lot of other people were talking about how the movie was weird. And I was trying to figure out what it is that they thought was so weird.
That's
And
the weird part, the sex scene.
well, for you,
Well,
yes.
that and then like the lady was just weird. She was always like kind of creeping around watching them. And
Hmm.
then how she like slid into bed naked with that girl
Hmm.
and was like touching her. Like, oh, that shit was so gross and creepy and it was just weird.
Okay. So I think what in talking to some other people, the weird stuff here that's going on is um I didn't find it weird. I just found it to be unusual that they went this route. I think what weirded out a lot of people is the fact that the serial killers in here are the elderly couple.
Hmm.
And let's be honest. They're pretty damn elderly. They're not just a little elderly.
No,
They're
they're like
really
in
elderly.
their 80s, maybe.
Yeah, and they're
Like
out
late
here.
70s or a mid 80s.
Yeah, and they're out here killing people. And the thing is, the motive as to why they're killing people is kind of weird but also dumb in a way too, because like, and tell me if you disagree with me, the whole reason why they are killing people, and it's mainly her motivated, the old lady who's motivated to kill people, is that she's sexually frustrated. She is
Yeah.
sexually frustrated. She wants to get laid. So what she does is she kills people. And she can't get laid because in the story, what it is, it's the old man can't have sex because he has a heart condition. And that's really what the issue is.
Hmm.
And she becomes enamored with the main character
Hmm.
because they look alike. You know, they show pictures when she was younger and and the young main character, and they look
Hmm.
alike. And part of that is, now I don't know if you knew this, Roxy, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. Um, they're both the same person. I don't know. Both the actress Maya is also playing the old lady too.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, that's just makeup on her. So she's playing the porn star and the old lady.
I didn't know she played the old
Yeah,
lady.
she played both characters. So that's why she's, like in the younger, older type of thing. Oh, like, oh, you look like me. Well, because I get it. It's cute what
Yeah.
they're doing film wise. But basically, she becomes enamored with her and starts. This is why she crawls into her bed with her and starts touching herself and touching her and all this other stuff. It's interesting. It's creepy as fuck when that happens. But the other thing here is I think a lot of people were just really disturbed at the fact that you don't normally view old people or sweet old people as being these creepy serial
Murderers.
killers. And that is what really, really, I think, bothered a lot of people. And they were trying to do this little weird film thing where, like, is it possible that the old lady and the young girl are one and the same? And I was like, no, it isn't. I mean, they clearly dispel that, throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie. So that theoretical crap, throw it out your ass. That ain't what's happening.
He said, "Throw it out your
It
ass."
is just she's obsessed, she's sexually frustrated, and that's why she's murdering people. And that's basically it. She's murdering
Yeah.
people because she can't get laid. But then the weird thing is she gets laid in the she does. Her husband actually does it with her, and which freaks Roxy out quite a bit.
Yes, quite a bit.
Because they weren't like attractive old people. They were just like nasty looking old people.
My
And
gosh.
yeah, so but anyway, she gets laid and then her desire to kill people goes away, which is weird. And like, it was interesting. It was very, very interesting.
Very interesting.
But I'm gonna say, you know, it's not a must see for me. It isn't. Like,
I
yeah,
probably could have gone the rest of my life without saying that.
yeah, it's one of these things where it's a one and done. You saw
Yeah.
it, you're okay. I don't ever have to see it again because, like I said, serial killer wise and slasher movies wise, this wasn't that great of a movie. Like, it was way too slow. Don't get me wrong, the kills were creative and quick once it started
Mhm.
happening, but it's like they saved it for the last 30 minutes. The whole
Yeah.
hour is them having a little bit of drama, figuring out the porn. Uh, and to be honest, there's not that much to figure out with porn. So I
No,
don't
but he
know.
was trying to create something different.
Yeah, he was being an
He
artiste.
was
I was like,
the
shut
art.
up. Oh my God. How many times have I fucking heard that one?
Right.
So, like just quit your shit. But yeah, they spent way too much time with development when this is a slasher movie. You jump into the slashing. You
Hmm.
don't need to do all this setup weirdness stuff that.
Mm-mm.
So there is that, and that was a little disappointing. If I had to give this movie a grade, if we're doing letter grades, Roxy, what letter would you give it? Uh,
This
I don't know if there's a letter
I don't know, C minus.
I was gonna go with a C. I was gonna go with a C.
C minus.
Yeah, so we're pretty much right in the same thing. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give it an E for effort in the sense of creativity because the killers are different. It's not the
Yeah.
traditional serial killer. And me and Roxy were talking about that. It's not the traditional serial killer profile that you're used to. They're just old people killing people because they can't get none. I get it. I'd be pretty mad too if I couldn't get any. I don't know if
No,
I'd
for
go
real.
that far, but
Yeah, I don't think I would go that far as killing people.
I
What did he
wouldn't like.
say? What did she when she killed him? She was like, "This is for what did he say? Oh, when he was trying to kill the guy, when he was trying to kill Kid Cudi's character, and
Mhm.
he was like, y'all walking around here turning her on or something like that."
Oh yeah, like getting her all bothered and
Yes.
then he kills. Oh, like man, y'all need to calm
Like,
the
oh
fuck
Lord.
down. Viagra did not come out quick enough for you
It
guys.
did not.
Oh man, but like seriously, it was just murdering for, because I guess that's how they're getting their jollies off because they
Right? Since they
they
couldn't
couldn't
have
get it
sex,
off in
they had
any
to
other
murder
way.
people.
And then the weird thing is he ends up having a heart attack not because of the sex, but because uh one of the victims wasn't fully dead and she moved and it
Oh
scared
yeah.
him and he ended up having a heart attack because of that. It
Hmm.
wasn't even because of the sex. And so I was like, oh,
It's like, dang, she finally got some and now he's gone.
now he's dead. It was a very, very interesting movie. I would say don't buy into the hype because a lot of people are hyping it up. It's not that great, if you ask me. N- Me and Roxy, I'm gonna say we're a bit of slasher aficionados here. It's just because you made the plot around a porn and they're old
Right.
people doesn't make this like, oh my God, it's spectacular. No, it really wasn't. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
mean. I love the actors that are in it. Like I love Jenny Ortega. I love Kid Cudi's work, especially his DJ work. But and then they acted well. Everyone did a phenomenal job acting. It is
Yeah.
not ruined because of bad acting. Everyone did a great job of acting. The set was great. Everything was great. It was just a slow burn on this one.
Isn't that girl Brittany Snow? Isn't she on man, Pitch Perfect?
She could be. I don't know.
I think she
Is
is.
she? But now,
Yes, she is in Pitch Perfect.
okay, very cool. See it. They were all good actors. It was just like I said, for me, slasher wise, this was way too slow. Way too slow. And I need everyone dying like in the first 10
Immediately.
minutes. Like credits roll, there's already bodies. That's what I need. I don't need this. Oh my God, it's an hour in and no one has died yet. Like this is torture to watch this and be like, someone has to die. This isn't
Right.
a slasher movie because people don't die, and I'd be really furious if that happened.
For
I would
real.
be like on fire. That was so fucking like, but it was an hour, and then finally everyone started dying. I was like, thank God.
Now tell me what kind of like I was just thinking about the part where they were going to look for that guy and homeboy's walking around outside barefooted and he steps on that nail.
Yeah,
I was like, you're an idiot. Why would you be walking through a barn barefooted?
exactly.
First of all.
Why would you go out there in your underwear?
Yeah.
You know, do you know how many animals are roaming around in the woods just waiting to jump on you because you're in your underwear? You
Mm-hmm.
know, I wouldn't have done that. I would have put my
So,
shoes on. I would have put my,
clothes on,
I at
some
least
shoes
would have
on.
put my jeans on at
Especially if you
minimum.
gotta like book it, if you gotta run,
Yeah,
you
you don't
need
want to be
shoes.
running through the woods naked and then fucking all those branches and
You
thorns hitting you,
know,
tearing your skin up. No, that's not the way to handle that. But then again,
at
it's a
all.
slasher movie. They all do. That's the one thing about it. It did keep with the bad choices people make in slasher.
Right.
So, I get
Although,
that.
did anybody trip? I don't remember.
No one tripped. Now that I think about it, no one tripped. Um, It was, like I said, the kills were great. The kill scenes were great. They were good. The kill scenes do not disappoint. It's just, like I said, it took forever. It took forever. I mean,
It did.
but again, I'm not talking trash about the acting, not talking trash about the set, not talking trash about any, all those things were wonderful things. It was just too damn long.
Too long to go on without a kill.
Yeah, way too long. So it was just, I like how they try to feature Houston in it because we're from Houston. And really what that is like a scene of Pasadena. I was like, it's all the refineries of
Yeah,
Pasadena. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
that's
You
funny.
you didn't even try to capture the skyline. You're full of
Nothing.
crap. Like that is not Houston, but what you see there when they show you Houston and they show you this scene of all these refineries, that's Skankadena or Pasadena. Yeah,
Dankadina.
this movie is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to Pasadena, right next to Urban Cowboy.
Not Urban Cowboy.
Yeah, like you have to go that far back to like think of when was the
Right.
last time they ever featured Pasadena, Texas, and anything. And it was Urban Cowboy, and it was literally that country singer Gillis, his
Hmm.
nightclub that was in there because that was a real nightclub in Pasadena. But no. no, no. That was not Houston. I assure you.
I assure you that.
That was Pasadena, Tejas.
It was just good old Stankadena.
Stankadena, and there's a reason why it's nothing but refineries out there, so it stinks.
It
Between
smells
it stinking or something exploding, it's not the best place to live.
really not.
But I think it's nice that they put it in Texas. I think Texas is a good background. I think Texas is a great background for any kind of slasher movie.
Oh yeah.
You hear Texas and slasher, and there's something extra scary to that. I don't know why. And maybe it's because of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre effect.
Maybe.
But there's something scary about being lost in the woods of Texas and something's trying to kill you.
I mean, there's something scary about being lost in the woods.
Yeah,
Like
or just being in Texas.
that too.
We we are a scary state sometimes, people. Don't
Sometimes, yeah.
fuck around.
Don't mess with Texas, and we
Do
don't mean just litter.
do not mess with do not piss people off. Do not honk at people. It could end up being on the 5 o'clock news, I assure you.
Yep, that'll be your last honk.
Yeah, it surely will. Surely will. So that's just advice if you ever come down this way.
Right.
But again, movie was I can only give it a C. I know you're
The,
gonna
the
go.
movie was meh.
It was meh. Yeah, I
Meh.
I would rather if I had to rewatch because both of them are Netflix. Thanksgiving's on Netflix and X is on Netflix. I would rather rewatch Thanksgiving than
Yeah,
X
same. I would
again.
rewatch that rather than
And
rewatch X.
again,
I
Thanksgiving
mean,
did a
it's
better.
okay.
X was all right.
Yeah. I
At
didn't
best.
hate it, but I
Mhm.
didn't really like it.
No, I didn't like it either. And I think a lot of people were like, they were trying to read too much into, oh my God, are they the same person? No, no, they're not. You figure that out right after that moment passes. Like, oh, they're clearly not the same person. Get over yourself. It's just creepy because it's old people, horny old people
Horny old
who
folks.
want to kill people. That's what it
Because they're
is.
horny.
Yes, because they're horny. They want to kill people because they're horny. Um, Not the bestest combo. It made for a good creepy combo though. I will say that
Yeah,
it was
definitely
creepy.
creepy.
It was
Gave
definitely
me the
creepy.
heebies.
It definitely made it weird for a lot of people. So it's creepy and weird because of that. So originality, I'm going to give it a good E for effort on that one because
Mhm.
that was different. I will say that was different. You don't see any serial killer movies where it's an elderly person. I mean, I
Right.
can't think of any. Can you?
No.
They were all middle-aged kind of looking people, but like elderly, like what they did,
No, not like no.
you don't see that at all. So, that was, E for effort, creative. I like that, kind of like what they did with it. But in the
Yeah.
sense of like, best thing ever, I'm afraid not.
Yeah. What
Really
about all
wasn't.
that?
So I would say it's a one and done. If you have it in your list and you're debating, you don't have to click it. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
You
yeah, if you want to.
maybe just scroll
Maybe
over to the next one. That's all I'm saying. At some point you'll watch it, but you
it's
ain't.
like a hangover movie.
Yeah, like when you're bored. It's if you're bored and you got nothing better to do on a Sunday kind of movie, just maybe
That.
watch that. Um Again, Jenny Ortega's great, the rest of the cast great. Um Kid Cudi was great. I
Can
just
we talk about that scene when you see his outline?
Oh yeah, they
When
did
he's
that.
standing in the doorway, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, they have you
Holy shit.
did you notice they made every man in there well endowed? Even the corpse was pretty well endowed
I did not see the corpse.
yeah, because they show you the whole body. I was like, look at him just hanging out like that. Like, no, 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 no. You are lying. That is a prosthetic, sir. That is a lie. So every man was well endowed in this
I was
movie.
like, whoa.
But I'm gonna go with this wasn't naturally well endowed. This is like some little shenanigans of
There are
stage
some
makeup.
shenanigans happening
Yeah.
there.
There's some inflating of egos going on here. But let's say you thought X was the greatest movie ever and you want to disagree with me.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Get your own show.
If you want to disagree, send him an email.
Yeah, send us an email. Us. It's
Him.
us.
Send
We're
him an
us
email.
together. So send us an
No,
email.
him.
Whatever. Us. Send us an email to thevcrshow@gmail.com or hit us up or Insta or Twitter or whatever the hell they're calling Twitter now, the X.
X.
To there at the VCR Show. Check out our YouTube channel, the VCR Show. Check out our website, thevcrshow.com. And as always, you can always, give your X propositions to the lovely, beautiful Roxy. Be like, oh my God, I have a script in a film that's perfect for you.
He
Takes
knew.
we have a location in the backwoods of Texas that
Oh,
we think you would be great for.
sounds thrilling.
Yeah. So, but you can send those to her at her social medias, which are
Please don't send those to me.
they're gonna
On Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at Poprox428, and on TikTok at Thepoproxx. And Poprox is spelled Poproxx.
X, just like the movie and the genre. And as always, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And you've been listening to VCR.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Seriously, y'all can skip it, but you have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vara and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vara with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow@gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at The VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library. Need some sweet treats for your next big event? Or maybe you just have a sweet tooth? Check out Skippity Cakes. That's Skippity Cakes, SKIPPITYCAKES.com. Check them out for all of your sweet treat needs, things such as cakes, cupcakes, and cake pops. Also, check them out for their varieties of face masks, t-shirts, and coffee mugs. Say hi to our friend Rosie for us.